Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saul Goodman, the Better Call Saul podcast. My name is Brian, and with me, as always, is La Dave. La Dave, how you doing?
The good. I don't know. Like,
okay.
If I'm La Dave, I'm doing La good.
All right. Awesome.
I'm doing good because both my sports teams won today.
There you go. Look at there. Everything is coming up Millhouse for you, Dave.
It's coming up Dave. Yeah.
Everything is coming up Dave. Yeah.
Everything's
Absolutely.
coming up Chicago sports, except one Chicago team beat another Chicago team. So
The Bears beat the Cubs?
no, the Bears, the Cubs beat the White Sox.
Oh, the Cubs beat the White Sox. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then, that's okay. They're only the White Sox, so I guess it really doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, nobody cares about the White Sox.
Yeah, the weird thing about that is they when Chicago had this big World Series drought, I remember they won the World Series, and everybody was happy for them for like 5 minutes, and then nobody gave a shit ever again about the Sox. It was like a very short-lived victory tour. Like,
Right.
Cubs fans to this day don't shut up that they won the World Series 2 years ago. And, Bears haven't won the Super Bowl since like 1985 or something ridiculous.
Right.
And people still don't shut up about that. People act like it's still 1985 and it happened last weekend.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the Sox won the World Series, and everybody was jubilant for a day. And then people acted like it happened 60 years ago.
except for Sox fans who would still, up until 2016, throw it in your face that they won the World Series in 2005.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But, here in Chicago, the number of Sox fans is incredibly small compared to the number of Cubs fans.
Yeah, that and nationwide because of
WGN.
National broadcasts and stuff like that. Yeah, the Cubs created a fan base all across the country. So, yeah, there's a much larger fan base. And as we like to say, the Sox are the redheaded stepchild of the Cubs.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, so we are talking about Better Call Saul episode 408, which is titled what, Dave?
Coushatta.
It sounds very
Sounds like
exotic.
a Cajun dish.
Yeah. I wonder why that would be.
Because it's a town in Louisiana, maybe?
Oh, yeah. I actually looked it up. Its real life population as of the last census is 1,841 people.
Wow, smaller town than the one that we're from.
I know, right? So we can just jump right into the episode. Let's chat a bit. And for those of you that don't know, I am skunk hunting because I have some skunks in my backyard. So there may be awkward pauses in this podcast, but I'm just trying to kill skunks.
Yeah,
but you may never know because Dave will edit them out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, we tried to start earlier, and then your wife was like screaming in the background. I thought she said something about blood. You get up and run away. And you forget to turn your phone off, so I'm just watching you run away. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then you hang up, and then I get a text from your wife that says, Brian is shooting a skunk. He'll call you back. And I replied, I hope the skunk shoots him, which has happened before.
Yes, I have been sprayed by a skunk before, and it's not awesome. I smelled for like a good 3 weeks. But
I don't think I saw you the day it happened. I think it was 1 or 2 days later, and you still reeked like skunk.
Yeah, let the record show I continued on my life as normal. I took into consideration nobody. I went to work at a pizza place. I went to college in classrooms, and I lived in a fraternity house, all while smelling like a skunk. I just continued on my day, because the weird thing is, you get so used to the smell, you can't smell it. But
your
everybody that
blind.
comes in contact, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was legitimately funny.
You were like an emo kid from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Who used to there used to be a thing was like you wouldn't bathe in order to like offend people around you.
Really?
That was a thing.
Oh my God.
It's even in Incubus wrote a song about it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So I guess the reason why I couldn't qualify as one of those people is because I don't listen to I Hate My Father music and I don't have daddy issues. So I just thought it was funny. I got sprayed by a skunk and everybody had to put up with it. But you know what? Also, let the record show, I believe I was dating and had girlfriends during this whole ordeal. So it did not affect me there either. So anyway, back to episode 408. We kind of started meandering there. We open up Kim and Jimmy are saying goodbye for a trip that Jimmy is apparently on, and they got me.
Yeah,
They got me because I'm sitting there looking back at past notes, and I'm sitting there looking. I don't see anything about Jimmy going on a trip. So naturally, I started thinking, fuck, how the hell did I miss something so big as Jimmy leaving Albuquerque? Because that seems like that would be a major plot point, right?
right. Well,
But
I thought that it was like a flashback to college or something. I thought maybe he was going to school or maybe going back home for a little bit. I thought this was like the mailroom days.
Gotcha, yeah.
But I wasn't quite sure because they looked like them normal selves. They didn't look like they were trying to make him younger,
Yeah.
So then I just kind of rolled with it. I figured this was probably a current, maybe part of Kim's plan. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
So Jimmy is probably one of the first people to work mobily, really. He's on the bus. He's writing all these notes and cards and the letterhead. Good. We find out that he had actual letterhead. Good foresight. That's pretty slick. I guess that's I guess that's his deal.
This whole plan is very detailed, and they kind of covered all the bases. Maybe a little too far, but and as we saw, it all worked out.
Just a few things I noticed. Did you notice the weird way he was writing? He was holding his pen, like between the middle finger and the ring finger.
And like going left-handed, right-handed. He was just, I noticed he was changing his grip.
Yeah.
So I figured he's disguising the handwriting because did someone mention a letter writing campaign? I thought I read that or heard that somewhere.
I kind of. I don't know about the letter writing campaign, but I believe one of our listeners had mentioned that the reason while Kim was at the office supply store was so she could start handwriting signs and such.
Yeah, they're gonna like picket it.
You're right, because she's totally setting it up to be a civil rights issue. And
right.
Turns out they were true. Like whoever predicted that were incredibly correct.
Yeah, totally. That was spot on, as they say.
Yeah,
spot on. So yeah, pretty cool. I like the way they did that. No complaints there.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any complaints about this scene?
No, not at all.
I did like that Chastity got reprimanded for cussing.
Yeah, don't use swear words. And all the reluctant, like that somebody would write something, he'd be like, "You want another stack?" They'd be like, "Yeah, I'm bored. Why not?"
What else are you gonna do? Back then, I think it was only, they only had the Nintendo DS,
right?
So they didn't even have any of the cool Wi-Fi enabled systems.
Right. They didn't have like touchscreen phones that you can watch videos on, stuff like that. So I would do it if I was on the bus and somebody's like, "Hey, you want to make like a couple bucks?" I'd be like, I'd do it for free just to kill some time.
Right. The pay was kind of low, right? It was 45 cents or whatever per.
Something like that. I know it was.
Or was it 45 cents or was it 50?
25 cents for a postcard. So it must have been 50 for a letter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Make some good lunch money.
Yeah, a little spending cash for when you get to Coushatta. I'm sure things aren't that expensive there.
Right. The Pepsi machine is probably still 15 cents. And it has the bottle opener still attached to the machine.
Exactly.
That's how you know it's an old vending machine, is if it has a bottle opener attached to it.
Especially if it dispenses plastic bottles.
Yeah. It's been modified, but it still has the bottle opener for sure. That's how you know.
Nostalgia.
Yep. Opening is Tyrantula.
Tyrantula, that's right.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite stupid jokes we ever came up with on this show. Tarantula dog. He hasn't done the haha thing lately, but that's okay. All right, so we get into the episode proper, and we are at a restaurant, the name of which is what, Dave?
El Mico Acano.
All right.
Micoacano. Mico Acano.
All right. Okay, cool. See, I echoed what we do at the beginning of the show when I asked you for the show's title. You see that? You like that? See, comes full.
Yeah.
Full circle. Oh, I'm so clever. I'm so clever. All right, so Nacho's in the boss seat. He's driving, man.
Yeah, he got Crazy 8 to do his job, and then he took over Tuco's and Hector's job.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Tuco earlier. He went to jail. Then it was Hector. Now it's Nacho.
Yeah, in the big boss chair. Being stoic as fuck.
Super excited they just opened up on Nacho. That's great because they knew we were hankering. Had a hankering for some nacho.
All right. Well, he was gone for 3 episodes, and the room was adequately lit, so it's nice to see.
Right.
It's nice to see that he's under the realm of the living, so that's always good. So Goldilocks sits down and starts says he's a little short. Nacho calls him out on it. I did love the Nacho Man. I got to get going or something like that. I was like, all right, right on, man. Right on. Pretty boss move, yanking the earring out of his ear.
The earplug? Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. How bad that would hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Crazy Eight's such a puss. One, he didn't put the guy in his place and Nacho had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how he tries to validate Nacho's feelings about doing that.
Yeah, when he's like, you had to.
Yeah.
And Nacho's just like, well, why didn't you do that? That's your job now.
As if Nacho was feeling any remorse.
Right.
like, don't blame yourself, man. You had to do that. So, awesome. That's great. It's good to see Nacho kind of, well, it's interesting, right? Because he's kind of taking like the big boss spot, but he's kind of owned by the competing cartel. So he's just got to maintain. He's got to maintain the front.
Well, he's fully healed, and now, I don't know, he does seem to have more of an edge to him.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that? Yeah, like he's been through all this shit, and now he's kind of like more badass, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look at his man pad, right? Right after this, we go to his man pad. He's got women's, cars. He's got a widescreen TV, which isn't fucking cheap in 2003.
Right, true.
Right? He's got 2 chicks offering to make him dinner. He has art, like, fucking everywhere.
He has, like,
and not like little rooms. Art. Right. They're like giant canvases
right.
of art.
It's your typical drug dealer pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
High end drug dealer pad, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nacho is making that cheddar.
He's living large. He's living large and showy. Very showy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but money can't buy happiness, Dave. Nacho doesn't look like a very happy person.
No, not at all. Especially
that's what
since
they say anyway.
I mean, given the fact that he's got fake Canadian IDs stashed for him and his old man, he's got a lot on his mind right now.
Yeah. It did show a close up of his bullet wound, so he's not completely healed. He's still got a little ouchie down there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been 7 months, and he's well on the mend.
Right.
Which is good because they weren't sure about how he would heal, and it turned out, the vet did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty well, pretty good. Good for him. They say crime doesn't pay, but it looks like he's doing all right.
Right.
looks like it's paid him quite handsomely.
Quite handsomely, yes. Yeah. But it also, he's in a dangerous situation, and perhaps someday we'll get to see Felipe and Martin Cavallo.
Yeah. And what's awesome about the fake Canadian IDs is Michael Mando is actually from Canada.
Oh yeah, that's right. He mentioned that in the interview that we did with him.
So maybe that's just a little shout out to his folks back home while he's filming Better Call Saul.
Yeah, totally. That's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah,
I can dig it.
Nacho just wants to go home, man. Just wants to go home. Okay, then we come up to the Germans on the strip club.
You called that.
Blowing up. I mean, what the hell else are you going to do?
Right? Oh yeah. I mean, well, the whole scene.
Are you going to take them on a bus field trip to like a baseball game? Or I guess they could have went to the Isotopes. Yeah,
they can go see actually, I don't think the Isotopes existed in 2003. Maybe they did. But I mean, the Grand Canyon is not far.
Yeah, that's true. They
could have went on a
nice scenic.
Roswell's nearby. You got the Painted Desert. You have Route 40, which is one of the most boring stretches of road I've ever seen, next to I-80 through Nebraska. Plenty to do. Plenty to do.
Yeah, Mike was just hanging with the boys, seeing some boobs, because who doesn't like boobs?
Werner, apparently.
Yeah.
Werner doesn't seem to like boobs.
He's been with his wife for 26 years. That's all he needs, man.
Yeah, he's definitely probably the most homesick and missing.
Yeah.
Missing his lady.
He starts talking about his family and how his dad helped build the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah, I looked into that, and I kind of went down a rabbit hole, so I stopped.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if because it's because the foreman's name is Werner Ziegler. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see if there was like a Ziegler that was actually on the engineering firm.
Yeah.
But it's like a massive engineering firm that did it. and they've done like they have a laundry list of projects that they've done throughout the world. Actually,
Oh yeah, and they probably had like hundreds of people work on it. So I'm sure it won't exactly. Plus, it's a TV show, so it probably doesn't exactly correlate with real life.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm inclined to believe that maybe Ziegler's dad really didn't help build the opera house. I mean,
They think Werner's full of shit.
Yeah, well, I guess he's lying, fucker. No, and he also helped. And it was nice too because so this is dumb. I don't know why I wrote this in my notes, but I wrote, "That's nice. It helped Dory find her way home." So obviously, I started thinking about Finding Nemo and how Dory helped find her way, Nemo's way home by the Sydney Opera House. So I just thought that was nice that he did that for a fish.
I'm trying to find a way to vocalize the look of disdain I have right now for that joke.
It's how my wife looks at me at least 4 times a day when I make dumb jokes or stupid observations.
Same boat.
Yeah. Moving on. All right. So the dude who mispronounces the name of the beer.
The Hefeweizen?
Yeah, Hefeweizen.
It's Hefeweizen. Everybody knows it's Hefeweizen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's uncultured Americans.
Yeah, well,
but that guy kind of reminded me of Badger for whatever reason.
I didn't pick up on that, but
I did. Obviously, it's not because Badger would be like 10 years old, but for some reason he had that vibe about him, kind of the softer voice and the moppy hair, the moppish hair. I don't know. For some reason, it reminded me of Badger.
I guess they just have an affinity for that kind of character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we find out a lot about Mike's father as well. He liked stacks of paper and apartment flats. So
yeah, and accruing massive debt he had no plan on paying back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they can't get it from you when you die, right?
Can't take it with you.
Yeah, when I turn 85 years old, oh man, I'm taking out the biggest loan possible. What are they going to do to me? Kill me?
Nice little parting gift for your children.
Oh, that's okay. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
I raised them to be smart enough to deal with the situations I leave them when I die.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Like all they'll have to do is get an even bigger loan, pay off my loan, and then when they die, their kids can pay off that.
It's called paying it forward, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty much my plan. Just keep moving it down the line. Fucking Kai. What a dick. That guy is such an ass.
Totally called that. Yeah, that was in preview of the prior. We knew. Like, that was kind of obvious that they were going to go to a strip club and he was going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's... Okay, so the thing is they're not even trying to pretend to hide the fact that Kai is a dick. So once again, I'm going to double down that he's pretty much the impetus, especially after what transpired shortly after this, that everybody's just going to end up dead and part of the walls. Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know. The way they were talking about the whole come to Jesus moment and stuff, you know, maybe they're not going to off everybody.
I don't know. We'll just have to see. A couple things I wanted to point out when Mike walks in on Zukalaka. What's his name? Ziegler?
Werner Ziegler.
Ziegler. Okay, so when Mike walks in on Ziegler, drunk and apparently telling everybody how they're going to build an elevator shaft. One, yeah, guess the lab did have an elevator shaft. Two, I have a hard time believing that even in its most drunken state that anybody would just start talking about that. Right? Was that a little weird? Did that seem a little forced to you? I was like,
it kind of did, but that does happen sometimes when you're isolated and you can't tell anything. Like a lot of times people confess like extremely personal and dark things to random strangers, knowing that they're not going to see repercussions. They just have to get it off their chest and say it to somebody. So this kind of thing does happen in real life. I mean, criminals actually get busted this way. So
yeah, it
is plausible. It does seem kind of weird. You'd think this guy would be smarter than that, knowing who he's dealing with and how serious Mike takes things.
Right.
But so it's kind of like yes and no. I kind of had mixed feelings about it.
Yeah. I was impressed by Mike's sleight of hand when he grabbed the coaster off the table as he was reprimanding Ziegler. He puts it in his right front pocket.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it upon my watch.
Because it was the sleight of hand.
So Batman also does magic.
Yeah. Well, that's part of his mystique, right? Batman does a lot of magic. He disappears. He somehow shoots a grappling hook into nothing and then flies off.
Right.
Even if Batman's in the woods, he'll shoot the grappling hook into the sky and manage to fly off.
Right. It grabs a cloud.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. It's actually like an umbrella attachment on the other end to where you can yank hard enough and it like picks him up and goes.
When he grabs Werner and gets in the car and he turns on the light, they have like these magic headlamps that actually light the interior of the car when you turn them on.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
He turns on the car and it lights up the inside. I thought that was kind of funny.
Super safe for night driving.
Yeah, totally.
I did like the weird couples having a lover spat moment as they were in the car. That's kind of what it reminded me of is, you know, somebody got a little too drunk at the party and you got to drive all the way home, which I guess is essentially what happened.
Kind of a callback to last episode.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, when Jimmy got a little boozed up and ran his mouth a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why we work well together. Yeah. But they're all going to end up in the concrete.
You think so? You really think they're going to end up in the concrete?
I think everybody's getting killed. Yeah, I think so.
Well, I will contradict you this episode and say they are going to be just fine and dandy with their lumps of cash, and they're going to go home and live safe, happy lives.
Yeah. Well, my reasoning is they're over budget. They're behind schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They're assholes, especially Kai.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that all trust that Gus has in them has now been probably breached.
If it does happen that way, it will be Gus doing it around Mike. Because obviously, I'm taking from his conversation with Gus that Mike doesn't want that to happen. He says he gave Warner the come to Jesus moment. He's got it under control. Maybe Kai will still be offed. I'm down with that. But I really think Gus was kind of saying, like, look, it's going to be fine. The work is solid. He made a point to say, regardless of what's going on, the work is solid. So if Gus decides to do that, Mike won't know about it, and Mike will not be complicit in said actions.
I think maybe it'll just happen, and then Mike will know what's up, or just not be surprised.
What if Mike stops it from happening?
Whoa, mind-blowing plot twist.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. Mike doesn't really seem to give a shit about anything.
I think he's taking a shine to Werner.
You think they're buddies?
Yeah, I think, especially since, like, how Werner fucked up real bad. That's a pretty big mistake. And for him to just, like, to be that stern and give him that speech and stuff, I think they're kind of buddied up. He's teaching him German. They go out and have a beer and socialize together. I think
that's kind of more out of necessity, though, right? Because it'd be a total pain in the ass to to rehire and go through that entire process.
I don't know.
Mike's have to kill those people now.
Mike's kind of living on an island right now. I think he needs some companionship himself.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he had it. He had it with Anita.
Well, when they pour the concrete, we'll see Anita again.
I knew you were going to say that. But maybe you're right. Maybe they have kind of become buddies because the speech he gave was totally the. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Right. Exactly.
Speech. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
On a whole nother, mob-based, we kill people without thinking twice about it level.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Okay. Yeah. That's the mob equivalent of that speech. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Mm-hmm. Kim's rocking out to German music, doing the work thing.
Coincidence?
I think not. Actually, not even being cute there. Nope. And Jimmy keeps disrupting her. What I gained from that is he's just fishing for her reactions, trying to gauge where she's at with things.
Yeah, I think so. Especially that meaningful turnaround look at the end when he leaves.
Yeah, longingly. Yeah, the longing gaze.
He came just short of the little magic fingers trick that he does when he's trying to get things to go his way.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it went through his mind.
Probably.
It probably went through his mind.
Yeah. But he's definitely being aloof, keeping his distance, not trying to not upset Kim. This is obviously a huge favor that she's doing for him.
Right. And Jimmy heads off to the dry cleaner's office, and Mrs. Nguyen asks Jimmy if the wife's mad. And I don't agree with her philosophy where she's pretty much, whatever she says, just apologize.
She says, nice dinner with a waiter and cloth napkins. That's key. Mm-hmm. No paper napkin restaurants. All right. Don't go to the restaurant where Nacho collects drug money. Take her to like Red Lobster or something. No, not Long John Silver, but Red Lobster.
You don't want to take her someplace cheese dick like like Olive Garden. So you take her to Red Lobster.
Although white women love Olive Garden.
That's true.
Does your wife love Olive Garden?
That's true. No.
Okay.
And the reason is
shoot
the
my
reason
philosophy down.
Well, I think my wife likes Olive Garden in the sense that it's not a TGI Fridays.
Mm.
But my wife is also a really good cook. So once again, it runs into the problem. If we go out to eat and it's supposed to be, somewhat pricey, it better just be a good place where she can't cook as well as that restaurant on a daily basis. See what I'm saying? Like if we went to like a really expensive steak place.
Totally.
She could probably cook a steak that awesome, but it's not something she could just whip up like on the fly and have it taste better. Right.
Well, sometimes you're paying
Olive
for the
Garden,
ambiance and the atmosphere also.
and the free breadsticks, because then that place just exudes class.
Totally.
That place just
doesn't taste like Chef Boyardee at all.
Right. But that's my wife's thing with places like Olive Garden. She knows she could probably, with three ingredients and a tan tied behind her back, probably make better food than Olive Garden. So if we go to Olive Garden, or at best, everything is just going to be okay to her because, she's just like, it's all right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you got to take her to the Dancing Marlin.
The Dancing Marlin?
Dancing Marlin, yeah, in Frankfort, Illinois.
Mm.
Tapas, man. Tapas.
Oh, yeah, tapas. Yeah, small portions, full price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that whole thing. I mean, maybe in his situation, but like over general, never apologize, guys. Take it from somebody who's been married through 12 years. Never apologize. Never.
For anything. That's right. Never.
For anything, ever.
We've already had this discussion where we've talked about how you don't apologize for anything.
That's right. That's right.
Except for this podcast.
Yeah. Well, some things
disagree.
some things are too egregious even for myself.
So in the midst of our wandering 10 minutes based, what was it? We focused for 10 minutes on misinterpreting the situation. I think she's right. I think that is a cure-all for a lot of things because a lot of women are stupid. And but I like the fact that he's like, he has that look. He's like, we might be past that. So yeah, because we're always debating what is the nature, where are they at in their relationship, and they're doing a good job of that. It's almost like a will they, won't they kind of thing in their own Better Call Saul kind of way. And what the fuck is he doing with the cell phones? Yeah,
they're not really. I think I said this episode or two ago. Yeah, just not the cohesive unit that they once were.
Right. Although,
and there's little sparks, still there with the whole like draping the leg over while they're sleeping because that's like a comfort thing. Yeah, you wouldn't just do that to somebody you're pissed off at, but
right. I know they tend to go a little more linearly, but by the end of the episode, they're definitely more on the cohesive unit side. The ebb and flow, the pendulum swinging the other way.
Right.
Which makes me.
Before we get there,
I
want to talk about Kim at the courthouse
with
Shows
ADA
up at the courthouse
with ADA Suzanne Erickson. One of our listeners was right about the ADA. It was a previous case. She was involved in the case that put Tuco away.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and I don't think she got the sentence that she wanted or something. I didn't go fully into it, but I did look it up, and yeah, that was the Tuco case was the previous encounter with the assistant district attorney.
Yeah, she just keeps getting her shit pushed in.
Yeah.
She'll never make district attorney at this rate. She'll be an assistant forever. Forever.
Well, Peter Principle.
She rolled up with a posse.
Power move.
Yeah.
Total power move.
Yeah, and then she ones up it with a very subtle power move at the end of the scene. Did you catch it?
When the ADA is like, your client's still going away, and she goes, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. But let's talk about the scene. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. All right. So long story short, Kim basically threatens her, says we're going to make it a civil rights case, which it was totally called by one of our listeners. She tries to stay, the assistant district attorney tries to maintain a strong face and asks Kim to chat with her after their meeting. And after all of Kim's little goons left, she still threatens Kim and says Huel's going to jail. And you were right. So I don't think the okay was a power move. I thought that was just more of a defiant thing.
So is the power move when Erickson's like, you have $300-$400 an hour associates for a pro bono case, and she just goes, who says it's pro bono?
No.
No.
I think the ultimate power move was when Kim leaves the office and walks out, she doesn't shut the door behind her.
Oh.
Yeah, she walked out of this woman's office, and because usually in those situations you offer to shut the door out of a courtesy. But Kim didn't even try that. She very deliberately stuck the door open and walked out.
Nice. Okay. Very, very observant, sir.
Yeah, maybe I'm just reading into that a little too much, but as soon as I saw that, I started chuckling. Because if anybody has ever worked in an office environment and had to deal with people who have their own office, especially when you've had a meeting with them, 99% of the time, if you forget, because it works the other way, right? Because if you intentionally forget, or if you accidentally forget, a lot of times people are like, "Hey, could you shut my door?" If you're being courteous, you usually turn around and say, "Hey, you want the door shut?" Kim didn't even break stride. She very deliberately stuck the door open, like opened it, stuck it open without breaking stride. Walked out, which is, very obviously signaling, don't even fucking ask me to shut the door. Like, this bitch is staying open, So I chuckled because I found that to be, I thought that was a hilarious power move. That was a very subtle, like, this is my office now type of move. So
yeah, and I've seen that other places where it's like, hey, can you please shut the door behind you? And the person goes, oh, okay, and then doesn't. I don't know if that happened in this show, but I've definitely seen that in other places too.
Gotcha, bro. And then just walk off.
I didn't catch that because I was looking at the guy in the waiting room, just wondering if that was something was going to happen there, and kind of watching how Kim left. So I was focusing on other things. So good catch, man. Good catch.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We're back at the dormitory, and Mike's pissed.
Man. Is he ever? This is the come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, a lot of people pissed this season because Kim was pissed like twice last episode, and now Mike's pissed.
And Robert Schweikert was pissed at Jimmy.
Yeah. Okay, so Schweikert pissed. So the thing about it, first off, Ziegler's like a child, right? He's getting scolded, and
he's like a child that
knows he could die. It's like a child that knows he could die.
He knows he messed up, but not as bad. It's he tried to get away with something, and he knows it was a mistake, but he doesn't realize how bad of a mistake it was. He thought he like left things vague enough to where people wouldn't get upset about it, but he kind of specifically drew up plans for building a secret underground lair.
That's what I thought was so great about that is because he tried to pose it as if he was just talking about general construction. And then Mike, as he was explaining, he was a German national in the middle of Albuquerque. Apparently, Mike overheard him give him very specific, very like what he was doing.
I think there were specific dimensions on the drawing. Because when he's talking to the random strangers, he was definitely giving very specific information.
Yeah. So, once again, everybody's going to die because of that.
He should have just told Mike, I'm building your bat layer, dude.
Yeah. Back the fuck off.
Yeah. This is for you.
Yeah. Back at the courthouse in the
meanwhile.
Meanwhile. Okay, so here's my thing. Obviously, they're just going back and forth, and the judge is like, holy shit, you guys need to figure this out because I don't want to deal with any of these cards and bullshit, and I don't want a media circus, and I don't want national news and all this stuff here.
Are you prosecuting right? Santa Claus? I dug that a lot.
Yeah. I didn't know that judges had that power. I didn't know judges could call the consuls in and say, just fucking figure this out so we don't have to deal with this shit. I didn't know that was doable.
It might have been more of a personal thing. Because obviously we've seen that Kim has some respect for Judge Munninger. So it might be like, not necessarily like I'm legally obligating you to join me in my chambers. It's more like we come here and help me figure this out because this is a really fucked up situation.
Right. Okay. That judge reminds me of Mr. Incredible's boss at the insurance company in the first Incredibles movie.
It's not
his
him.
Voice. I know,
yeah.
it's totally not, but his voice and jowls, and
Inconceivable.
Yeah, totally reminded me of that character. And for the rest of the scene, that's all I could think about was
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you waiting for Kim to like throw him through a bunch of walls?
Right, yeah. Because if anybody could do it, she could.
I like how he's like calls Kim out. Like, did you start this? Because yes,
Yeah,
she totally did.
Yeah, she absolutely did. That struck me a little bit. The blatant lie
Yeah,
that surprised me a little bit.
that is going to lead into my theory that I will wrap up the show with.
Perfect. We'll talk about it then. But so when they're chatting and the guy's, how you going to induct Santa Claus and all this shit? When the ADA and her name is what again, Dave?
Suzanne Erickson.
Okay, thank you. So when Suzanne Erickson heads off to her office and starts getting all the information and such, she makes note to say, I want everything. And one of the things she mentions is places of residence. So is Huel from, Babineau, he's obviously Cajun of some type.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
is he from that town?
This is his hometown. Absolutely.
This is his hometown. Okay.
It's got to be. I wouldn't think that they would make up a hometown. I think they would use his actual hometown because because at least this way, it is this. You can work around that. If you just made up the town, then that's a much higher chance of getting caught.
I figured they just picked some podunk town to explain where he's from. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. For some reason, I just had it in my head that he might be from somewhere different.
No, I think this is actually his hometown.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Awesome. From Coushatta.
Yeah.
Coushatta, Louisiana. I do dig the way that the whole phone scam worked out. Very clever.
Yeah, because I was wondering when Jimmy was messing with the phones. I found that very confusing. So I'm glad they sorted that out. And I like that we get to see the camera guy and the sound guy and the little actors.
I was so happy for you. You're exactly who I thought about. I was like, well, for many reasons, but I was like, oh shit, Dave's gonna be happy because you kind of like that whole little dynamic with the camera crew.
Yeah, I love their little millennial shittiness that their contempt they have for Jimmy.
Yeah,
but he pays
they're always
them.
game,
right?
Yeah, they're always they're there. They're in place.
Yeah,
doing their thing.
So one thing that struck a nerve with me was the this is the church phone, so start the organ music. Like, if you're you're trying to play this off and have this elaborate lie, but that's like going too far. That's really trying too hard to show that it's in a church, because I don't know how many churches just have organ music playing the whole time.
I will say I grew up 2 doors down from the church that my parents attended, and it was always open. And the people that usually play organs for the church are volunteer, like senior citizen volunteers and such.
Right.
And those people do practice quite often, and they almost use it as like a social thing. Well, they don't keep the church open anymore. But when I was younger, you could walk into the church at any time. And what was great, what was kind of eerie about it, it was kind of eerie because you'd be in a church, like this giant church all by yourself. But I just wanted to point out that the little hymnal that they gave out at the end of church has ads in the back. And McDonald's would always give away a free medium fry coupon as their advertisement. So I would go in there and take stacks of the hymnals that they handed out every week.
Nice.
And pretty much just cut out the free fry coupons and then ride my bike to McDonald's. So I'm just saying, yes, there are people in there at odd hours playing organs, but I get where you're coming from because it's a little on the nose trying to sell it as a church. There was a couple things that I felt were a little on the nose in this entire scene.
Yeah, but I was okay with the background, like the birds chirping and like the nature sounds in the background. I thought that was kind of clever during the first phone call. But then,
but I guess if you're putting yourself in that situation, it's probably easier to sell to the unsuspecting, right?
Right.
I mean, I guess we're viewing it from the lens of assholes watching a TV show. We're like, oh, that would never happen. But generally, you would expect.
But she's not unsuspecting. She's suspecting. This is a very, very suspicious person that's going to look for any reason to poke holes in your case.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
totally.
But
I thought it was.
You've explained the organ thing, so you can take a point away from me if you want to, because I think I was wrong on that.
But for the record, I did feel it was a little far fetched myself.
Okay.
Thought it was a little far fetched. Far fetched. I was like, I get you have the phones and all this, but the lady seemed pretty intimately familiar with Jimmy McGill, right?
Yeah, like yeah.
And I'm just saying that the pastor that she supposedly called, because she already had her suspicions about the phone numbers anyway, otherwise she wouldn't have been calling them to verify the veracity of them. To me, just sound like Jimmy McGill doing a Cajun accent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I was getting worried that when Jimmy went off script, and you know, he sometimes when you lie, you go a little too far. You tell too many details.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole going off script, also she knows he's peddling burner phones. I think she's going to put this together.
Yeah.
I do.
You think it'll, okay.
Although,
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not disagreeing
but I believe at the end of the episode they come to a conclusion and they have settled the deal, right?
Yeah, but it's because it was pressured by the supposed campaign. So I guess it could come back to bite him though, because if it's under like false pretenses, and then what if it came back that Kim was complicit and all that?
Well, he does list all the things they did later in the episode. So when we get to that scene, we'll talk more about that.
Okay, awesome.
I like the fake website though.
Yes.
Did they show Jimmy taking those pictures of Huel in the previous episode?
I'm not sure if they showed the pictures taken or them taking pictures of Huel. Again, that was one thing that I thought was a little oddly overkill, but I get that they're trying to sell it. And obviously that's the genesis of the whole thing that they did in Breaking Bad where the zombies were making donations for Walt's cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh, that's right, because Saul sets that up. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Wow.
I get what they were going for.
I didn't even pick up on that. Point for you.
Yeah. I guess I'm just saying a lot of stuff was too on the nose, and I get it. They're like, holy shit, we're at episode 408. We have 2 more to go, and next season might be our last season. So we need to start kicking some things into overdrive, because really, just in general, 408 was actually a little bit meatier and interesting episode than I'm used to for the one before the penultimate episode.
Yeah, they're really packing it in.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. So
yeah.
One thing I am going to start using in real life from this, though, is I'm going to start telling people I will be with them presently. That's going to be my new thing when I'm on a conference call and somebody says, "Brian, are you there?" And I'm just going to say, "Yes, I will be there. I will be with you presently."
Very Southern of you. Very, very Southern thing to say.
I did live in the South for a while.
Like saying, "Bless your heart," and that's not a compliment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a snide asshole thing to say, for sure.
And then Jimmy shows up at the courthouse, and I thought they were going to call the church number, and the phone was going to ring in his pocket.
Oh, really? Oh, man, I didn't even think of that, but man, that's good. That would have been pretty funny. Jimmy was at the courthouse, and I just thought, man, that's stupid. Why is he there? That's dumb, right? That's all I kept thinking. I'm like, okay, so instead of just waiting 5 minutes, he needs to get verification. So not only does he peek through the window of the office while they're sitting there negotiating the final terms, right? Because all she had to do was turn to her right or catch him out of the corner of her eyes, and she would probably be like, oh, something's up. But then what if she walked out of the room first? Again, what was your plan? What if she walked out of the room first, and now he's just like inconspicuously sitting in the hallway?
Oh, he's here to pick up his girlfriend at that point, I guess.
Right? I guess. I don't know. I just think that was a dumb move.
Yeah, I think that was a dumb move, too.
But then again, these aren't perfect people either. You know, they're very flawed. So the whole ringing of the phone would have been pretty good, though.
Yeah. But we didn't get that. Instead, we just get a little bit of making out in the stairwell.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that threw me for a loop, right? Because Kim's back to digging it.
Right.
So that obviously must have been her big moral dilemma over the past few weeks is, you know, her feelings are, you know, she likes pretty much being a mischief maker, it seems like. And she was trying to fight that, right? So that's why she goes and tries to do the right thing, because she's trying to fight her attraction to the morally ambiguous Jimmy McGill type behavior.
Yeah, and like while we were sitting here saying over the past few episodes that Kim's all about truth and justice and the American way and like being upright and legit, I'm starting to think that Kim likes getting over on people just as much as Jimmy. It's just that she's better at doing it legally, but she finds it more fun to do it shadily. Yeah,
apparently she's all in. I mean, it seems like it as of this point,
right?
But we didn't know that. But I mean, obviously the episode ends up like that, but this is where I was like, holy shit, Kim's all in.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, I'm like, oh my God, everybody was right. Dave was right, and all the other people saying, like, well, what if Kim's still around in Breaking Bad? I was like, oh, this totally just gives them the in to make sure that she's around her in Breaking Bad.
Actually, I don't think so now.
You know, really? For real?
I'm thinking it might go a different direction. Do you want my big theory now, or do you want to wait on that?
We can wait on that.
Okay.
Let's get through the scenes first.
Let's foreshadow it and tease everybody, and I'll get to it at the end of the
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I like how they're lying in bed, and then she's like,
Mhm.
"Can we go? Can you do it again?" And he's like, "Can you handle it?" And you obviously think they're going to talk about banging for like a third time or fourth time or fifth time, whatever.
Right.
And no, she just wants to hear the accent some more.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's so bad. It's a
Yeah.
pretty terrible Southern accent.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I guess that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah,
it defies
totally.
it defies expectations, right? Because if you're going to make that move, you would think somebody's going to make that move doing a really good, really good impersonation. But nope, not the way it went down.
Nope.
Jimmy's checking on shitholes so he can run his business out of, and Kim at the same time is working at the green table, and
Yeah, I like how Paige uses the phrase "stable as a table" when her company is this green table.
Yeah, I caught that too. Yeah, maybe that's their slogan.
Nice.
Maybe that's the bank's slogan. Yeah, Mesa Verde, stable as a table. Paige, just so I'm not misunderstanding this, right? Paige is Kevin's daughter, correct?
I think you threw that out there. I don't think that's his daughter. I think that's like his assistant.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a business relationship.
Okay. Carry on then. I just want to make sure.
But Kim is obviously distracted.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah.
She can't really keep her head in the game right now. And then when Kevin wants to change the when Kevin wants to change the Lubbock location, and Kim shuts it down, she's just like, no, dude, like stop. That's enough.
So what's her deal? Why do you think that she can't do well? Why do you think Mesa Verde is giving her all sorts of anxiety when?
Because it's a lot, and she's pulling, like you said, she's pulling rabbits out of the hat, and like eventually you just kind of run out of bullets in the chamber. You know,
Okay.
all your eggs start hatching, and then when when the cow's calling for milk in the morning, sometimes the rooster just don't crow.
That's true. Yeah. I was actually going to say, do you have any other cliched analogies you can toss out there? But I'm glad you did. I'm glad you
You're
kept
welcome.
going. Okay. Yeah. I guess I just don't see why the Mesa Verde thing is that big of a deal.
I think I do because it's massive. There's how many locations? She's already been overwhelmed the whole time, and yeah, she did start the branch and has all this help now, but it's like she said, it took 2 months to get the original permit. Now he wants to adjust it, and it's so many late nights. And I think the PD work is appealing because it's not so many late nights. It's kind of easier.
Yeah.
And if she's all about helping people, Kevin doesn't really need help. Like he seems to be pretty well off and they're doing okay. And he's just trying to get richer and richer. He's already one of the haves, and she likes helping the have-nots.
Okay,
So,
that's a good interpretation.
Yeah. Why help a have get more when you can help a have-not get some?
Okay, that's a good interpretation. I don't even have a response to that, but I like that. I like that they brought back the lid from the Zafrino Anejo tequila.
Totally. She starts fondling it and just reminiscing about the good old time.
Yeah, once upon a time when they were scamming Kyle Bornheimer.
Right.
Which is awesome because Kyle Bornheimer, he was on our podcast, but he also got a mention in BoJack Horseman. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Which Comedy Central picked up, by the way?
Comedy Central picked up BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I was at a hotel in Milwaukee over the weekend watching Comedy Central, and they kept showing ads, series premiere, BoJack Horseman on Comedy Central.
Really?
So Comedy Central picked up the show, yeah.
So are they they're probably picking up like the reruns, right?
Yeah.
From like season 1.
Yeah, it's like getting syndicated on a network.
Okay, yeah. That's got to be pretty rare for a Netflix.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mike's giving the progress report to Gus, and things are not really going all that well. Although they did talk about the elevator shaft, which we talked about earlier. So yes, there is an elevator shaft. I apparently I just completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
but they're way behind schedule. They're over budget, and old Vern is on the hot seat. So again, I'm pretty much sold on this is all just foreshadowing Gus killing them all.
Yeah, I guess. Like I'm gonna still disagree with you. I did note that it only took an hour to rebuild that one post. Thought that would take a lot longer. But this is the scene that makes me think that if Gus does something, Mike won't know because Mike vouched for him and he says it's solid work and all that. So this is where I'm like, I see Mike sticking up for Werner and hoping maybe he's trying to assuade Gus away from that particular decision.
Yeah, because that's kind of Mike's thing, right? He's had a couple chances just to completely eliminate the threat, and then he does it through a less than lethal manner. So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
I get you. All right.
Batman's negotiation skills are above par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Jimmy's just taking a look at these like shithole offices, and Kim just happens by. Just happens by in this really weird part of town with this totally shitty building.
She tracked him down.
Yeah, seemed very reminiscent of one of the first scenes of Better Call Saul.
Kind of a callback, yeah. Where she's outside smoking, he takes a cigarette from her. Yeah. Which, because they're getting back to that. So this is all that writing of like bringing things back together, coming full circle. Pendulum swinging the other way, you know?
Yeah, and that's when Jimmy's he offers, again, although it's probably an empty offer, to end all of his little shenanigans and tomfoolery.
Well,
he's like talking the third time.
And he's talking her down because he thinks she's freaking out. You know, when she says she's just thinking about things. And he's like, okay, so you're worked up thinking we're going to get busted. And he lists everything they did. And so he thinks he's trying to talk her down, but that's not the case.
Yeah. She's all in.
She wants to do it.
She wants to do it again.
Yeah. She is sparked up.
Yeah. And I can see why. Jimmy's obviously the closest thing she has to as a friend, because once again, she has like no friends, no family. She never mentions any of that shit.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe she's just lonely and it's like, fuck it. I'm in this.
So here's
I'm in it to win it. And then she's the mastermind of Breaking Bad.
Maybe. But this is my theory is one possible way this could go is the DA doesn't give up trying to track this whole thing down. Kim did start the letter writing and all that stuff. She wants to turn to like the more Jimmy, the slipping Kimmy kind of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this could totally screw her over. She could end up in jail or disbarred. She might end up disbarred. You know, Mesa Verde could lose her. This whole thing could blow up in her face. And like I said, I think last episode, maybe Kim's the one that's actually Breaking Bad.
Nice. Okay. I like it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good theory. Yeah, I'm glad I came up with that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself 4 points for that theory. No, I'm completely possible. Next episode, I think, is where we'll find out all the crazy shit, right? Because it's 409, and that's just how it goes.
And that might be the crazy shit.
Yeah,
is that this all blows up? They get busted. It all gets pinned on Kim, and
yeah.
There you go.
It'd be better. All right. It'd be great if everything got pinned on Kim and Jimmy, enough time has elapsed to where Jimmy can represent her. But totally botches the case and then sends her to jail.
Well, as I'm working this theory out while we're talking, because Jimmy wants it to be Wexler and McGill. So maybe Kim ends up getting punished or something. So then he starts this whole thing as Saul Goodman to like kill time until she's out, and then they can be Wexler and McGill and go straight. And since he'll be a different kind of lawyer, he'll use a different kind of name.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the whole fuck Chuck, I don't want to use his name, so I'm going to be Saul Goodman. I think that's more plausible.
Yeah. And that one's a little bit odd to me. That's a little bit more. Nah.
No, I think the whole Saul Goodman thing stems from his hatred for his brother.
Okay. I think it just stems from the fact that he realizes that he's kind of just a shady dick. And when he was a shady dick scamming people at bars, he would say his name is Saul Goodman. So if he's going to be a shady dick, he might as well be Saul Goodman.
That's just his alter ego?
That's just him. No, Jimmy is Saul Goodman's alter ego.
He's like Superman.
He's exactly. Superman. Bruce Wayne is the alter ego of Batman, not the other way around as everybody seems. So that's
Clark Kent is the alter ego of Superman.
Right. People say Batman is the alter ego of Bruce Wayne, right?
Yes,
no,
yes.
No, Bruce Wayne is the alter ego of Batman. Listeners, back me up on this. Tweet us, ISGM podcast.
Back me up on this, that Superman or Clark Kent is the alter ego of Superman, which is what makes Superman different from every other superhero.
Okay, so if you agree with me about Batman, just do like a hashtag Brian is right. If you agree with Dave, do a hashtag Dave is wrong, and we'll get to the bottom of this for sure. ISGM podcast on Twitter. Do it now.
Heads I win, tails you lose, huh?
Exactly. Lastly, Nacho goes back to the restaurant to this loud-ass music and this really happy-go-lucky dude dancing.
Which I wanted to point out the fact that this is the polar opposite of every time Nacho's waiting on someone, it's dark and quiet. And now he's going to come across somebody and it's loud and active and bright.
Yeah, and he got usurped.
Clever.
Got usurped.
Usurped.
Came and took his shit. That guy made him lunch and then literally ate his lunch.
Well, he offered it. He tried to get Nacho to eat his own lunch.
Right, but then he was going to eat it because he was going to eat it when Nacho turned it down. He made him lunch and then he literally ate his fucking lunch. He was just like, all right, well.
Right.
All right, so now.
But it wasn't a dick move.
No, it was totally
There was an air of the whole era of it was dick move-ish, but he did offer Nacho the plate first. It wasn't like he didn't make it and then just sit there and eat it in front of Nacho.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
He did offer it to Nacho first.
He was just doing the whole.
It was that whole like, I have you by the balls, and I'm going to be super friendly about it.
Right? Yeah.
I do like that dynamic. That's
twisting the knife a bit, right? Like just like right in your face, like what are you going to do about it? You know, like hey, we're buddies, right, buddy? Yeah. Kind of like Jimmy to Schweiker. Hey, buddy, like we're kind of pals, making you. And then he even calls for him. It's the last words of the scene, right? He's like, Varga, come on, power move. He's in charge now.
Yeah,
he's not shutting the door on the office.
And I thought that was pretty clever. It's a family secret recipe, and he's like, Nacho was like Salamanca family,
right? Yeah,
like,
yeah. You're not.
So
one
you know
of
who
us.
that is. You know who that is?
Who?
Lalo. In Saul Goodman's first episode, he says, was it Ignacio? And they say no. And he says, did Lalo send you? Is this from Lalo? And they say no. And that's when he breathes a sigh of relief.
Oh, well, he even says you can call me Lalo.
In Breaking Bad, he mentions two people when Walt and Jesse abducted.
Right. And in this episode,
Ignacio and Lalo. So this is the introduction of Lalo.
Right. And in this episode, he introduces himself and even says, but you can call me Lalo. He says that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right. We're saying the same damn thing. It just sounds like we're arguing. But yeah, no, good catch on that. I didn't catch that. I was actually going to ask you what he said because I've watched it twice and I couldn't hear what he said there. But that's very interesting. Yeah.
Which makes me think this is obviously really close.
Right. How much longer can you drag it out, right? Time to take the fifth season and start tying shit up, folks.
Yep. That's what we think is going to happen.
I think all the signs are there, obviously. But
now I want to know, and I do hope we get to see what the hell Saul was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Ignacio? Was it Lalo? So now I want to know what plot line that is. And obviously, I'm hoping we get to find out.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. 100% for sure. So overall, pretty good episode. Like I said, it was a lot better than I thought that the one before the penultimate episode was going to be. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. So pretty interesting with Kim Breaking Bad, which I actually had that thought while driving around today, and I was going to try to keep sneaking in references to like the words Breaking Bad, but like she was moving unsavory or something like that. But
she was falling apart poorly.
Yeah. But so that
she was disassembling not good.
Thank you, sir. That's even more cumbersome, and I like that better. Yeah. So she was disassembling not good, right? We have that. Right. She teams up with Jimmy, which nobody saw that coming. I didn't see that coming. I mean, people kind of did because they were like, well, what if Kim's alive at Breaking Bad? It's like, yeah, well, what if she fucking was? But if she is.
But like I said in preview with a prior, I don't expect her to be alive and like a positive part of Jimmy's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking she's just there. They have had a split or a divide or something that like an ultimate straw broke that camel's back.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm going to double down on the theory now that it's all going to come back to bite Kim in the ass. She goes on trial. Jimmy tries to represent her because they have that whole trust thing, and especially since they pulled scams on each other, they probably think each one can figure out ways around shit because they've both proven it multiple times. But this is the one. This is the scam. Jimmy can't pull through to the end, man. He's going to try to represent Kim, and she's gonna lose everything she has.
I like it.
That's my theory. Awesome.
I like it.
Now, those of you out there, please feel free to tell us your theory. Make sure to hit us up on Twitter at ISGM Podcast or Facebook or host at nothingimportantpodcast.com or Carrier Pigeon. However you want to get a hold of us, go ahead and get a hold of us. Feel free to tell us about the alter egos of Batman and Superman and why Dave is completely 100% incorrect. And feel free to...
So are you disagreeing? Do you say that that's not the case for Superman, or are you saying it's the case for both of them?
No, I'm saying it's the case for Batman, and you tried to correct me and say that only applied to Superman. And I said no.
So you don't think that Clark Kent is Superman's alter ego?
Clark Kent is Superman's alter ego, but Bruce Wayne is also Batman's alter ego.
So you're saying you're not saying one or the other. You're saying it's both of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that.
Okay. Yeah.
So we both agree. We both agree on the aspect of Superman. We only disagree on the Batman part.
That's correct. Yep. So feel free to tell me why I'm 100% correct on Batman.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you. I kind of think that Bruce Wayne is Batman's alter ego.
It is. It's what keeps him sane. It's his tie to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. But
I think so.
Anyway, it's allgoodmen.com. Hit us up on TV Time, Podcast Detroit, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you soon on Preview with the Prior. Only 2 episodes to go. Dave?
Spider-Man is Peter Parker's alter ego. Call us idiots, call us geniuses, whatever, just call us. It's all good, man. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say Peter Parker is Spider-Man's alter ego.